This little girl was 5 years old. 5 freaking years old. Went and told her mom that she was bleeding after she took a shower with her dad. And her mama just looked at her and said, "No more showers with daddy. No more showers with daddy." Now, this little girl, from the time she can remember, she remembers her father going into her older sister's room every single night. Every single night. And for a minute, she didn't know what the hell was going on until he started to come in her room. She goes to tell her mom, daddy is coming in my room and he's touching me and he's been doing this to my sister. Her mom told her to, if you don't want that to happen, lock your door. This is what the mother of these girls is saying to them. If you don't want this to happen, lock your door. Mind you, this is their father. This is their father that we're talking about. So he continues on to do this. She goes and tells her mom again, like, he is coming in my room every night touching me. The mom told her, well, your sister is fast and she like it and you must like it too because you don't lock your door. You're not keeping your door locked. You're not doing what you're supposed to do to keep him out of your room. Then when she turns 16, she gets pregnant by her father. You know what her mom did? Didn't say a fucking word. She just drove to the store, got her a Plan B pill, had her take it, go to sleep, and wake up, and she did not have a baby. Now, these girls suffered, endured this torment their entire life. And when they would try to confront their parents about this, both of them would tell their children they need to forgive him if they want to go to heaven. If they want to go to heaven, they have to forgive him. That's it. That's all. This is what you have to do, and we're going to move on with our life. So then when the youngest girl, when she got older, she started speaking out. Because fuck this. Fuck y'all and fuck this. I'm telling every fucking body that I can, everybody that want to hear, I'm going to tell everybody what kind of man this is. Her mom then came back to her and said, why didn't you protect our family like I did? Your dad, he got rebaptized. It's the sins are washed away now and nobody ever found out. So why would you tell him now? Why would you tell him now? You need to forgive him and we need to move on. And you should have protected our family like I did.
Hi ladies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to this channel, my name is Miss Kafwe. So ladies, today we are talking about CSA, child sexual abuse. That's what we are talking about in this video, ladies or gentlemen, whoever is watching. So hey, I don't want to talk much about this because this video shocked me. The things I've seen in this video have really shocked me and they've really educated me. I didn't know some people were literally SA'd by their own mothers and their grandmothers, like the people who you'll never think about. But hey, let's jump right into this video and then I'll be back to give my take on it.
Parents will beat their kids for making any mistake, whether it's dropping something, fucking up in school, normal kid shit that you do when you're trying to figure out the world because you're brand new here. You have no idea what the fuck's going on and you just want to know what's the word. They will do that. They will not give you the autonomy that you deserve. They will make you hug people that you don't want to hug. They will make you spend the night places that you don't want to spend the night and that you've expressed that you don't feel comfortable at. They will do things that make you have no sense of autonomy and what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. And they will make you feel like if an adult is saying it, that is gospel. And they will expect blind loyalty regardless of harm taking place. And they will ingrain this message into you that someone can beat you, someone can harm you physically and still love you. And then they'll act surprised when their children grow up and they have abusive relationships or the person that claims to love them beats them every fucking day. And then just like mommy and daddy tell them that they love them and they believe them. Why the fuck do they believe them? Because that's the same thing that the people that brought them into the world taught taught them. It genuinely infuriates me how parents groom their children to be the perfect abuse victims by showing them that they need to be blindly loyal to anyone that pays for things for them, blindly loyal to anyone that's older than them, blindly loyal to anyone even if they put their hands on them. How are you supposed to make that distinction? Like, oh, someone that is beating me doesn't love me, but my parents beat me and I think my parents love me. How are you supposed to reconcile that? Because you are not supposed to be hit by people that are supposed to love you. That's not how it's supposed to work. And it's impossible to differentiate that if you are being told from such a young age that people can beat you and still love you. It's going to be harder to recognize that you're being sexually abused when your parents do things like spanking you on your ass in a workplace, in a park, in any other setting. It is sexual harassment. It is sexual assault to touch someone's ass without their consent. But if mommy and daddy do it, it's okay because you did something bad. We need to talk about this stuff. Because kids are so underprotected, and it makes me so fucking sick that there's so little that people can do to help them for so many reasons, because their parents are like the perfect people to abuse them because they control all the resources, they control their livelihood. So it's like this endless loop, and it stresses me out. I wish I could save every child, because the fact that people that want to abuse kids can just choose to have them so that they have their in-house, oh my God, I hate it.
Everyone is so entertained with the DL men, but can we talk about the PDF files that we have in our own families? Our uncles?
So this is a story time on how my weird uncle used to try to do weird stuff to me. Between the ages of 10 and 12, anytime I was left alone with my uncle, he would try to kiss me. He would try to kiss me on my neck, on my face. It was really weird. Usually I would tell him to back up and leave me alone, and it would work. One day he corners me in the kitchen and starts trying to kiss me and stuff, and I tell him, get away from me, and this day it's not working. So I managed to get away from him. I have to run out of the apartment complex, run down the street, down the block to my cousin's house until I felt safe. And he chased me all the way there. Another time, my grandma sent me over to his house to help him make a phone call since he didn't know English. I go to his house, he takes me to his bedroom and hands me his phone. As I'm trying to make this phone call for him, he keeps trying to kiss me. Weird stuff he always does. He's literally not even letting me make this phone call because he keeps trying to kiss me. I hand him his phone back and tell him I'm leaving because he's not letting me make the phone call. As I head towards the door, he throws me on his bed and starts to climb on top of me. I got really scared and I slapped the daylights out of him. I slapped him so hard, we were both in shock. Neither of us knew I had that much strength in me. I get up from underneath him and take off running as fast as I can down the street back to my grandmother's house. I didn't say anything to my mom because I was always told that I was too dramatic and I overreacted all the time. About a week later, I told my cousin what had happened, and she told me that he had been trying to do weird stuff to her as well. I told my mom about it. She talked to my grandma about it, told her not to leave the kids around my uncle. My grandma still left the kids around my uncle all the time. A third cousin came forward and said that he had tried to do weird stuff with her as well. My whole family still hangs out with him. I don't think they even care that they know he's a PDF, but I don't hang around them, so it's not my problem anymore.
This is my story time on how I was molested at 4 years old several times by this sick ass man right here, whose name is Marshall Smith. Here's the story. Okay, so before I start the story, y'all, I am one of those people who I have a nervous laugh. When I get awkward or in moments that are just uncomfortable for me, I might laugh or smile. So if you see me laughing or smiling at any part of this story, just know I'm probably uncomfortable. So this was a cousin, my mom's cousin, who was staying with us. And at the time, it was me, my brother, and then I had a sister who was just born. So she was in the room with my mom and my dad. Me and my brother, on the other hand, we slept in the same room. So when this guy, and we don't know him, I don't know him as Marshall. Our family knows him as Puddin'. They call him Puddin', like the snack, like Puddin'. And so me and my brother has our own room. So of course, if he comes and stays with us, like you would think he would either sleep on the couch or, I guess, in the boys' room. So he slept in the boys' room, in our room. So how this was is I slept on the bottom bunk. My brother slept on the top bunk. So he always slept on my bunk of the bed. Hold up. He always slept on my bunk of the bed, and I tell people all the time, like, I remember this so vividly. Like, I literally still remember, like, what he used to do when he was started, or the process. So what it was is, of course, like, my mom and my dad would go to bed. I'm gonna tell you about the first day. So my mom and my dad went to bed, and I remember I was laying in my bed, and my brother was woke in the bed above me or whatever, and he got in my bed, and he started, like, pulling my underwear down. And again, y'all, like, I'm 4 years old, so it's so uncomfortable. Like, it really is, y'all. It's very uncomfortable telling this story because I've never said it, like, publicly, and I know that this is going to be seen by people, so I'm just uncomfortable, guys. Like, please don't judge me. I really am. Like, I'm just uncomfortable. But I have been wanting to do this story for so long. Like, I have people who know me personally know the story already, but so he got into, like I said, he got into my bed, and I remember him, like, pulling my pants down, and then my brother started moving on the bed above me, and I remember him getting up. We had, like, this fan. I don't know if y'all remember them little old school fans, but we had this fan in the room, basically, and the fan makes a lot of noise. So he got up, like, oh shit, like he forgot something, but he got up, he went and turned the fan on, and then he got back into the bed. And I remember, like, and I'll never forget, like, him getting back into that bed and, like, continuing doing what he was doing. And I just felt like something, like, poking me. Like, that's really all I can say. Like, I just felt that. And I remember, like, because, y'all, this became like an everyday thing. And so I don't know how long he lived with us, but I just remember so many nights it became like a routine to where he would turn the fan on and he would pretty much just do the same thing. But like I said, on his first night, I remember, like, I just felt something like poking me in my area of my butt. And I felt him like opening my cheeks up. Like, and I just remember him trying to stick his thing inside of me. Like, I will never forget this. I'll never forget what I felt like in that moment. And at 4 years old, you would think that a child doesn't even understand really what's going on, and I didn't understand what was going on, but I did feel like I knew something wasn't right about this. Like, and we'll get into how I ended up telling my parents and how it ended up coming out and a whole story. This story is definitely going to be one of those ones that has parts to it, by the way. So I remember that, and he used to literally, like, now that I'm older, I understand it. I didn't understand at the time, but he literally used to, like, try to, like, you know, stick his thing inside of me. Of course, it would not do that. And so he would literally just end up, like, jacking off. And I remember, I swear to God, y'all, I remember I used to always be like, this wet stuff on me, like, and that's not, like I said, now that I'm older, I understand, like, he was, you know what I'm saying, on me after, like, he was ready to stop. And then we would go to sleep. And that's what the first time was. And literally, I just remember it happened so many times after that. Like, I remember one time my brother accidentally, he thought my brother was asleep, and my brother jumped down on the bunk, and he, like, jumped and he like started screaming at my brother like, get back up there, get back up there. And I remember I was like, damn. In my head I was like, I'm telling you, I was a smart kid. Like I knew something was wrong about this. Like I just knew something was wrong because he would only sneak and try to do this. He would only try to, it's like it just was a sneakingly type of thing. The way it happened, the way I just knew. I was a very smart kid, so like I just knew that this is wrong. This is not right. At the same time, it was like I'm a child, so like I don't really know what's going on. Like I don't even know that, you know, this is an adult act. I just know that I just knew something was wrong. And so as I said, y'all, like this would happen, like I can't tell you how many nights, but I know that it was a lot of nights. Like I know that it was a lot of nights. I just remember he had a fucking routine. Like he would get up, cut that fan on. If he could, cut the TV on. He would always make sure my brother is asleep, checking up there, making sure the door is locked. He would walk out my room because our room sat right outside the living room. My parents' room was right across. We lived in an apartment at the time. And so if they would have walked in, like it would have been an easy thing. You really wouldn't have heard, but he would always make sure that door is locked. Like he had a routine and he wouldn't take too long. You know, this whole thing will probably go on maybe like 10 minutes. 10 minutes max. It was something that he would get in there, do quickly, and try to be done as long as he could. But I remember, y'all, when one day I finally said something to my parents, to my dad actually. And I don't remember exactly what I said, but I remember me saying something along the lines of like, he has something poking me or something like that. And my dad was like, what are you talking about? He was making me show him like, where on my body am I talking about? What am I talking about? Like, and I remember I showed like, you know, my butt, like here. Like, and he was like, is he pulling your, he's asking me questions, like questions like, is somebody messing with you? Is somebody playing with you down there? Or somebody pulling your pants down? And I'm just answering the questions like, yes. Yeah, and they're like, who? And then, like I said, y'all, we don't call him Marshall. We call him Puddin'. And I remember saying Puddin'. And all I remember, y'all, is one day, I remember this day I said this to my dad, I remember it was fucking cops at our house. My mom, everybody was heated, pissed the fuck. It was, I just remember, like, it was, all I remember is red and blue lights. It was a lot going on. Like, my dad was heated. Like, they had to calm my dad down. I think my dad damn near got arrested, literally, but my dad ended up knocking him out. My mom stopped talking to him, of course, but it just became this big thing in the family, and like he wanted to kill me, honestly. That was the thing. There's the second part of this story. For like when he went to jail, after he got out of jail, he was like, my real name is Ashton, so he's like, where's Ashton at? Like, he wanted to come find me to unalive me for telling this story. And mind you, y'all, like, this happened when I was 4. Bitch, I'm 28 years old, finna be 29 in 2 days. My story has never changed since then. My story's the same. I can draw the picture out for you if you need to. That's how this shit really is. But if y'all want the part 2 of that part when he wanted to unalive me, let me know.
He didn't threaten her. And he didn't tell her that she couldn't say no. Honestly, he didn't have to. Because we had already taught her, without even meaning to, her entire life, that saying no made you rude or bratty or seemed ungrateful or unkind. Not just to him, to anyone. Be polite. Don't be rude. Don't hurt people's feelings. She learned early that her job was to make people feel comfortable. And he took full advantage of that. He didn't yell. He didn't threaten. He didn't get violent. He got disappointed. He got pouty. He got sad. Felt rejected. He made her feel guilty. And then suddenly she, as a child, was the one left feeling like she had done something wrong, despite the fact that she was being abused by her father. She wasn't left feeling scared, just wrong. Like she owed him something. Reassurance, acceptance, compliance, cooperation, silence. She felt like it was her fault for not making him feel okay. And what kills me is, I get it. That was me. I taught her that. I showed her that. Because that is exactly what he did to me and exactly how he made me feel. I would walk around trying to fix his mood before it even hit, before he even said a word. The entire family, the entire household, he made everyone in the house feel like his emotions were their responsibility, our responsibility. So no, it wasn't fear that kept my daughter quiet as she was being sexually abused by her father. It was guilt. It was the kind of guilt that has you in such a chokehold that you don't even realize how tightly it's gripping you until you can breathe again. So why didn't she speak up? She wasn't silent because she was scared. She was silent because she had been taught to be kind, even when it cost her everything. This is what grooming can look like. It can hide in good behavior, in don't hurt his feelings, in kindness over everything else. But like kindness, you know? So how do we teach our children to be kind, to be empathetic without ignoring their instincts, without asking them to push past that or overlook that? Leave your thoughts in the comments.
I was born into an incestuous household. My mom abused me sexually until I was 17. I slept in her bed pretty much every single night until I was 17 years old. And how this would kind of go down would be that she would come into bed. Me and my mom slept upstairs. My dad slept downstairs.
Oh, your parents never slept in the same
They never
bed?
touched. Which is
Wow.
also why I kind of thought like I feel like I was conceived for this reason because they never touched. It's interesting. I was never abused with my mom and dad that I can remember.
Never together, always
No,
separate?
they never abused me together, only separate, but my mom and her mom, my grandma would abuse me together, but like my mom and my dad never abused me together.
Wow.
They never touched, they never kissed, they ever did. My mom would always say, get away from me to my father.
Were they aware that the other one was abusing you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so they knew.
That's what I mean, is that like it seems like that's why they had me. Like it just doesn't make any sense why that would be any other way. But
And a lot of these cults and networks, whatever you want to call them, Illuminati type families, yes, that's what they breed children to abuse purposely.
all of this is like, the fact that this is so common is such new information to me because
It's way too common than people realize. It's scary.
Like there's
Yeah.
so many people who go through the same thing.
I would lay in bed beside them and he would touch me in my sleep and right beside my mother. But when I was around 5, he started to come into my room by himself every night, lots of nights. And he started performing oral sex on me and I instantly liked it. When the sexual abuse started, I was being given chocolate bars when he would come into my room at night. He would come into my room and sexually abuse me about 3 to 5 times a week. I started sleeping in my brother's room often. I felt like maybe safer in there, I think, as a child. So I would ask to sleep in his room a lot of nights. And on the nights that I would sleep in there, I would show my brother the things that my stepdad was teaching me. And I started telling my story on TikTok, the comment section, and even to this day, the comment section is filled with thank you. I feel less alone.
Letting your daughter go over your brother's house should not be a problem, but not in this case. A dad let his 8-year-old go over to his brother's house, but when she came home, he noticed she was bleeding in between her legs. He asked her, what happened to you? She said my uncle hurt me real bad, and when he hurt me, I won't stop bleeding in between my legs. The daddy rushed out the house, ain't say what he was going, what he was to do, didn't even tell nobody what was going on. He went straight to his brother's house. When he got to his brother's house, he knocked on the door. As soon as his brother came to the door, he unalived him. He didn't let him talk. He didn't let him get a word in. As soon as his brother came to the door, he unalived him. And after unaliving him, he went and took his body and cut it up piece by piece and laid it all throughout the river. When they found most parts of his brother's body, it was in a suitcase. He cut that man up about his baby. And nobody is upset, which I don't blame them. People be so weird. You can't even let your kids go over to your family house without wondering if they're going to be okay. Is these people sick? Do they look at kids different? Like, this is disgusting. She was 8 years old. Why are you attracted to your niece? This is your brother's daughter. Have y'all heard about this story? This is crazy. Let's talk about this in the comments. Was y'all able to stay the night at y'all family member house coming up?
So this is part 2 on how to tell if your partner is attracted to children. The first video caught a lot of attention, especially for single mothers and single fathers. But this one, here we go. Another thing to look out for is how often they are trying to change their diapers. This one specifically is for toddlers and small infants. There should be no anxiousness or no reason to be so eager for them to want to change their diapers. Any normal man, any normal mother knows that there is nothing fun or nothing that you should want to change a baby's diapers about. That's probably, like, not going to say the worst part of your day, but nobody in their right mind is waiting to change a baby's diaper. It's something that you have to do, yes, but there's so much better things to do in your day than change a baby or change their diaper. So if they're anxious about this, or if they're consistently offering to do this, red flag. Another thing to look out for, and this applies to all age groups of children, is how much they're offering to bathe them or give them a bath. This is one of the biggest red flags. If this does not set off alarms in your head, what do you have children for? There should be no reason anybody is eager or anxious to bathe a child. There's This third reason also applies to all age groups of children as well. It is how often you catch them looking at your children. Now, it's one thing to be in awe of your child. It's one thing to look at a child and just see pure joy and happiness, but it's another thing to admire them. It's a whole other ballgame. Whole other ballgame. It is weird. It definitely shows that they are attracted to children, and it's one of the hardest things to miss. You can definitely tell the difference between someone seeing the innocence in a child, the peace and joy in a child, and seeing someone getting off to looking at a child. There is a big difference. It is a huge fucking difference. It is a big difference, and this one is not hard to miss whatsoever. There are some things that can easily be misconstrued. Okay, like maybe I was tripping. It's better to be safe than sorry. But this one, no ma'am, no ham, no fucking turkey.
All right, go ahead, get in the bed.
I don't want to feel alone.
You want to feel alone? I'm about to bring you somebody in here, okay?
Yes, bring somebody.
Go on, get in the bed.
What did I bring?
Don't worry about it. I'm about to show you.
Show me now. I feel like I'm alone already.
All right, you just lay down. Okay.
I can't lay down. Now show you a person.
That person is coming here in a second, okay?
Don't lie.
I'm not.
Because if you lie, I won't trust you anymore.
Okay, I heard that. I won't lie.
Yay!
You got to lay down, Stitch. You got to leave her in the bed, though, because
Cute. Hi, Stitch. Girl, don't fall off for me.
Put it in the corner.
Hey, Stitch.
Y'all sleep together. I clean shit and piss up in the morning. Lay down, Stitch. Lay down.
Shut. I want to lay on the carpet. Let me lay on the covers. Hey, girl. You ain't lay on the. Shut. Let me lay on the covers first.
All right, y'all can't be talking because it's time for y'all to go to bed.
You ain't trying to buy my clothes, right?
All right, y'all gonna be all right because it look like Stitch ready. Hey, you finna get back in the cage. You better lay down.
If she tries to buy my covers, she'll definitely.
All right, y'all forgot to bed now. Stitch, if you want to shut up, you get back in the cage.
Oh no! Oh no! You ain't even doing it. Get back in there.
Y'all think this gonna work? Drop in the comments, yay or nay.
My name is Aisha. I'm 27 years old, and I am a survivor of CSA. Since it is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, I wanted to talk about my experience with domestic violence in terms of like my childhood. I have 3 older sisters and 2 younger brothers. I've always noticed that there's a difference between how I was treated versus how they were treated. I was very much like isolated from them. They all got rollerblades and bikes and I didn't. They all went to the same school, I didn't. I always had a lot more responsibility. My childhood kind of revolved around cleaning and being the responsible one. My abuser was my dad. And my dad had passed away 5 years ago in 2018. And a few months later, I was able to leave my ex, which I'm very, very grateful for. So after my dad had passed away and I was able to seek divorce, I feel like that's when my external environment was finally safe enough for me to actually delve into my internal environment, as in like start processing the things that I pushed away in order to survive. After speaking with my siblings and telling them in 2020 about our father, and what happened to me all those years, they immediately believed me, which is, very surprising. I think that was the scariest part for me because it was just so apparent. And my relationship with my mom was also very strained. It felt like she kept me at a distance, like she was very disconnected from me. She did believe me. She said, yeah, he's a really bad person and that, that makes sense. And he did this and this, and like things started coming up. But it was more of a way of like, he's the one that did it and I'm not at fault, and I didn't know, but of course she did because she put me on birth control under the guise of like an irregular period. But I had 3 older sisters who also had irregular periods at that period of time, and they were never put on it. She went from yes, it did happen to I had no part in it and how dare you think I knew about this, I'm still your mother, let's put this behind us, I get over it, basically. Although we live in the same city, I have not spoken with her for almost 3 years. She doesn't want to talk about what happened. She doesn't want to be held accountable. As I've been uncovering this and I have the supports and I felt safe enough to start sharing it with, my friends, and seeing how they were reacting wasn't the response that I got from a lot of my family members. My dad's siblings and my mom's siblings, it was kind of like, okay, it happened, so let's move forward, or I'm shocked that this happened, but like your mom is still your mom. And like, it just points to deeper dysfunction that none of them are currently ready to talk about. I didn't talk about it for a really long time because I felt like I had to protect my family members, their dignity, and carry this shame on my own. I'm realizing that this shame is not mine to carry. It's not my responsibility to protect them. It's only my responsibility to make space for my truth and share my story. This story is also not unique, which is also very sad to say, in the sense that there are many other people that I've come across who've experienced CSA at the hands of their family members, people who are meant to protect them, who also lived like double lives, who were very public facing and exuded religiosity. We need to talk more about that. I think our community has a lot of work to do. There needs to be more safer spaces for survivors to have these kinds of conversations. We need to deal with it delicately as a community and show up for people who've also experienced this so that we don't continue the cycle of harm.
Hey, I'm a victim of assault. Nobody ever takes me seriously whenever I bring this up. When I was younger, about in 3rd grade, my teacher did promiscuous actions with me. She assaulted me. Now, when I told people about this, namely, firstly, my dad, he said, "Good job, son." And I was really confused. I was like, okay. Well, I told my friends, and my friends said, "Hey, man, good job." I'm confused. I feel hurt, defeated. I feel like this is a bad thing that's happening, but sadly, I then tell the only other authority figure I know, which was my gym teacher. My gym teacher says, "Good job, kid." I'm confused. So I think that this is supposed to happen. That's what I think. It's supposed to happen. It's supposed to be going on. This is correct. This is regular. This is supposed to be going on. I'm third grade. She's a teacher. I'm thinking it's regular. And I never spoke up about that until I went in high school. I was in high school and I got assaulted by a male teacher. Guess what? I didn't tell anybody. Because last time I told somebody, guess what happened? Nobody did anything. And everybody to before said, good job. I didn't want to hear that. I didn't want to hear a good job for me getting assaulted. I didn't want that. So I just kept it to myself for quite some time. Later in life, I was about 23 years old. I was sad. I had lost one of the close people in my lives. I invited one of my friends who was a woman. She came over. And I was sad. I was defeated. She came on to me. After that, I was like, whoa, slow down there, buddy. I'm sad right now. I don't want to do this. And she said, come on. You know you want to. And I said very clearly in every single language, no. And then she said, come on, I know you want this. Boom. Bada bing, bada boom. Against my free will. That happened. Told my friends about it. They said, oh, she's pretty though. Oh, she's pretty though. Told my other friend, oh, she's pretty though. Told another of my friends who was a girl. She said, oh, she's hot. It makes sense. Nobody took me seriously. Nobody listened to me. Nobody in my entire life, every time I've been assaulted, has taken me seriously. Not once. And it hurts. It doesn't make me feel good to go through this each time. Each time getting diminishing returns. Each single time that it happens to me is horrifying. I hate it. I was assaulted as a child twice. It happened. And then as an adult, no one ever is going to take me seriously again. If it happens again, I can't say anything. Because people say I'm lucky that it's happening because the people that assaulted me were good looking. I'm sick of it. It makes me feel bad. And I hate it. Men don't speak up. And men aren't speaking up because other men say we're lucky. Or women sometimes get jealous. I feel like I'm stuck in limbo right now. So I'm talking to you guys. It hurts. And I'm sad.
Did you know that the rape rate in Dubai is non-existent because if you report your rape, you go to jail for having sex before marriage? I watched this woman's series of videos talking about all the events that happened to her after reporting that she got raped in Dubai. Hospitals in the UAE refused to treat rape victims because labeling it rape could land them in jail. Now, all Emiratis know that you can't report rape in Dubai because you'll be convicted of sex outside marriage and the victim will go to jail. That's why in the West, the reputation, there's no rape and it's very safe for women because you can't report it. The woman then found a way to illegally run away from Dubai. The Emirates is built on foreigners. Dubai lets unmarried couple check into luxury hotels. The hotel is not required to ask the couple for a marriage certificate. A lot of my friends live in Dubai and they say it's amazing as long as nothing goes left. I'm too fucking disgusted. I can't just ignore that because I can't sit with the fact that the country I'm in is okay with rape as long as they protect men and it's all hidden under its religion.
What's one of the worst things your baby daddy has done? I shared this story on Facebook a few years ago, so I'm gonna share it again. So the worst thing my baby daddy has done to me. About 4 years ago, I came home from a 12-hour shift. I'm a CNA. I came home to him hovered over our 5-year-old at the time, our oldest, and his pants was like down here, right? The only thing I can think of is to find something and hurt him. So at that time I had like a little 3-bedroom. It was a small space, for real. So the kitchen was near. Ran in the kitchen, got a knife, stabbed him a few times. And I'm pissed off that this has happened to my baby. I'm mad as hell that I have to do it, do what I have to do right in front of her, but what the fuck else to do? So in the midst of that, when I got him away from her, he's all shocked and scared and stuttering. Oh, I wasn't doing nothing. I was fixing her on the couch. No, he wasn't. So I kind of stalled him. I let him think that I was going to sweep it under the rug. I didn't see anything. And he went with it. At that time, I was texting my auntie, having her call the police. Now, she live in Chicago, I live in Wisconsin, so police got here, they see blood. The first thing they thinking, like, okay, what's going on? They got guns drawn, and I let them know what was going on. And I'm like, I walk in the house, and I guess he didn't think I was getting off at that time. I don't know what the fuck was going on and what was going through his head. But I said I get off, and I found him over my baby. And the first thing I thought of was protecting her. If y'all gonna take me to jail, let me call my family so they can come get them. So they was, of course they got him. They see my baby like that. She's crying, she's shooken up, she's confused. So they get him out. They take him to jail. They take us. Another few officers took us to the hospital where they examined her, and they found DNA. I'm so glad it didn't get to the point where he could have, like, what do they call it, bust a cherry or some shit like that, take her virginity. But it was almost there, and they found DNA. So he's been sitting in prison for 4 years now. Yeah, he been there for 4 years. I just got word that he has an attorney now, and it's going to trial. Since they have all the information, he told them that he was under the influence, he was drinking, he was smoking, and my daughter was the only thing near him at the time. So, of course, that was fucking heartbreaking to hear, like, are you serious? But I'm glad that she's finally finna get justice, and that's up to 40 years in prison, and I'm just like, yes.
My name is Julia, and I'm going to be doing a story time on how I was SA'd by my tattoo artist. Okay, so for the record, I went by myself. I had a tattoo appointment in New Orleans. 3 o'clock yesterday. That's what time my appointment was for. He was a little late or whatever, but he had came like 30 minutes later or whatever. Mind you, I went to his house. He said he had another shop, but it was further than his house. So I just went to the closest one, which was his house. Okay, mind you, this is not my first time going by myself to get a tattoo. This is my first time going to him. We followed each other on Instagram for a while, but I thought he was like a cool person or whatever. Like, he seemed like cool, he seemed really cool. Okay. So I had on this brown 2-piece set. Y'all know those Target 2-piece sets or whatever. So it was shorts and a shirt. Mind you, the tattoo that I got is on my leg, but the area is only right here. I have work done up here, but he wasn't working on that. So, however, he ended up telling me, like, pull up my shorts on the side. So I pulled my shorts up on the side, but, like, I guess I didn't pull it up enough. So he wanted to roll them up. So, like, he rolled it into my underwear. So now it's like I have on, like, a swimsuit. That's what my shorts are looking like on both sides, both legs. My shorts are rolled up. Okay, and so he put paper towels in, like, the creases of my shorts or whatever. So I'm thinking maybe he didn't want the ink to get on me or whatever. I'm not sure, because I do have a tattoo, like, on the back side. Okay, so I'm on the table, the tattoo table. And the first red flag was he pulled the table down, like, pulled it down to where, like, I'm almost on the floor. And he pulled his seat down, but his legs wasn't under the table. His legs was, like, leveled with the table. So it's like, your knees are going to be on my back if you do my tattoo, right? Okay. So as he's doing that or whatever, he's doing my tattoo, I'm kind of feeling uncomfortable. So I text my friend, I'm like, I think his private area is on my back or whatever. But I'm like, maybe I'm tripping. So a couple minutes go by, and then he started, like, using my other leg and, like, twisting, like, pulling open my shorts, and, like, he would set his what right there. And so I would, like, scoot over. Mind you, I'm by myself. I'm in New Orleans. I'm in his house. If you know, then you know. Like, I don't know what to do at this point. So, like, I don't want to text anybody. Well, I don't want to call anybody and tell them to come get me, or come, and I don't know what type of stage of mind he's in. Mind you, you pulling in, so it's no telling, like, what you're really capable of. So the whole time he's, like, steady doing that. Every time I scoot over, he'll pull me back or, like, literally grab me and turn me, and it's like I'm sitting on his lap. Like, I'm literally basically laying on his lap, and I'm like, I'm finna fall. He's like, no, you're fine. Da da da. I'm like, okay, so, like, I'm just ready for it to be over. So I'm literally texting everybody. I didn't got on the phone. I'm calling everybody. I'm like, I'm trying to play it off, like, yeah, I gotta go. And he's still not stopping. It's not phasing him, none whatsoever. And he's still opening up my pants, my shorts, and sticking his right there. And so this happened the whole time. I was there from 3 o'clock all the way up until 9, 10 o'clock, and he would not stop. And so around, like, 9 o'clock, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. I got work in the morning, this, that, and the third. So he's like, oh, well, let me just draw out what I'm gonna finish later. So that was a whole nother, like, 30 minutes. And I'm just like, you're not done yet? Like, I'm just trying to get out of here safely without being, So he wouldn't stop. He would not stop at all. And I just came on here to tell my story because I feel like he's done this to other people, because I don't know you from a can of paint. And you just did that. And then on top of that, he sent me my money back. That's how you know you're guilty of something. Like, I didn't say anything. I played it so cool. When I got in the car, I cried. Because I know this didn't happen to somebody before. And it's like, why would you even, like, do anything like that? Like, that's so weird. He never gave off that vibe or anything. But it's like, you don't know nowadays. And that's why you literally, if you're going somewhere, guys, go with somebody. Don't be like me. Do not be like me. Like, seriously. It's like, the whole time, he's literally pulling open. This is my clothes. He's pulling it to the side, and he's stick his thing right there. And even like if he'll turn around and like get something off the table, he'll literally still have it in there. He'll be like this and keep it in there, and he'll just turn around like this. And I'm just like, I'm literally shaking on the table, like I'm so ready to go. I'm irritated. I'm scared for my life. I didn't know what to do, and I feel like if I called the police, he was gonna kill me.
When I was 4 years old, my mother left me and my siblings because years of sexual abuse at the hands of her own father left her unable to care for children. He did the same thing to her younger sister. He never served any jail time. When I was 8 years old, I was held down by a boy on the playground after the bell rung and everybody had gone inside. Another boy approached and told me all of the things that they would do to me while they had me restrained. I kicked him between the legs. I was the only one that got in trouble. When I was 13, my older sister and her boyfriend had broken up. To get back at her, he told her and everyone else that he would sleep with me instead. I was 13, he was 18. When I was 14, a man exposed himself to me for the first time. I was walking through my neighborhood, and he pulled up next to me in his car and began pleasuring himself. I had never seen him before, and I would not ever see him again. When I was 15, a girl in my class revealed to me that another girl in our class was being sexually harassed by a substitute teacher. He had sent her nude photos. This friend laughed. I told the police. He went to prison when it was found out that he had impregnated at least 2 other girls at other schools, and my friends were mad at me because they liked him. When I was 16, I went to a college orientation for the school that I would be going to the following year. There I met a man who would attempt to groom me for several years. He was 10 years older than me and had just gone to prison for a previous sexual relationship with a minor. The school allowed him to be my mentor. When I was 17, that same man took me to a college bar where they didn't ID, a place I did not need to be and should not have been. He pulled my top down in the middle of the bar when I refused his advances. When I was 18, a man took advantage of me for the first time. He was several years older. I cried, and when I tried to report it, the police told me that I must have wanted it and didn't even file a report. When I was 20, a man began stalking my older sister. When she refused his advances, he resorted to threatening me. He found my social media and told me that he would rape me as a consequence of her rejection. He knew exactly where I lived and was able to tell me what bedroom of the house I was sleeping in. When I was 22, I went on a first date. He showed up high, and when the date was over, he became aggressive. When I refused his sexual advances, and he tried to restrain me in his car. I escaped and ran, but the entire time that I was trying to get away, every set of headlights that appeared behind me terrified me into thinking that he had caught up with me. When I was 23, I was approached by a man who asked if I was alone. When I said yes, he pointed a gun at me and told me, "So no one would know if I raped you." I complied. When I was 24, I went to a concert alone. A man I did not know slipped something into my drink, and the only reason I made it home safe is because the women at the merch booth called my dad to come get me. When I was 26, a friend of mine invited a man over to her home while I was there, and he tried to initiate a sexual interaction with the both of us. When I refused, there was a physical altercation, and he threatened to kill us both. I called the police and left. The police determined there was no threat and left her alone with him. Now, this isn't even all of the stories that I could tell. This barely scratches the surface, but this is what a lifetime of your body, my choice looks like.
When I was 16 years old, my mother forced me to strip naked from the waist down. She put on a pair of gloves, She pried my knees open and she touched me. I was 16 and a junior in high school. I was attending Campion Academy, which is a Seventh-day Adventist boarding school. And I had suffered an assault from two of the girls who were students at the academy. And I was bleeding and I was afraid, so I called my parents. They drove to the academy, which was 3 hours from where they lived, and instead of just taking me straight to the doctor, my father said that my mother needed to examine me and said that the doctor had said that this needed to happen. Now, I know that that's a lie because I was 16 years old. A doctor would never give that advice. A doctor would just have me come in and be examined by medical professionals. And on the off chance that a doctor did say that I needed to be looked at before I came in, I was 16. I could have done it myself. But in any case, it doesn't matter because I did not consent to this. I did not want it. I immediately got a horribly sick feeling in my stomach. And I refused. I didn't want this. But they forced me into it. And you have to remember, you have to know that I grew up in a home with intrafamilial child torture and previous CSA at the hands of my parents and their friend that they allowed into my life and allowed to abuse me, and they knew about it. So I was terrified of my parents. They had already established complete control over me and had not given me any autonomy whatsoever in my life. So refusal was not really an option, even though I did try to refuse. So my father stood guard outside of my dorm, outside the door of my dorm room, while my mother forced me to undress and made me lie down on the bed. She put on a pair of gloves, and I was crying because I didn't want this. And I remember I kept my legs closed because I didn't want it at all. And she pried my knees open. And I don't remember exactly what she said, but she said something along the lines of how I had to open my legs, and she forced them open herself. And then she proceeded to both look and touch. And yes, there was attempted penetration. Sorry, I had to take a little break. I can't remember if the penetration was successful. But I know that it was at least attempted. In case anyone has any doubts, this is child sexual abuse. This is incest. This is a crime. And this is one of the many events of my childhood that I have flashbacks about and PTSD symptoms from. The Pueblo First Seventh-day Adventist Church and the Rocky Mountain Conference of Seventh-day Adventists knows about my parents. They know that they abused me, and they are allowing them to have leadership positions in the Pueblo First Seventh-day Adventist Church. Here is the information for the Rocky Mountain Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, and here it is for the Pueblo First Seventh-day Adventist Church. If you want to contact these organizations and ask them how they could allow people like this to be in leadership positions in their church when they know what they did to me, please do. We have to hold these people accountable because people like my parents are not safe in churches. Thank you for being here, and thank you for listening to my story.
All right, what do you want people to know about you?
That my brother sexually abused me.
And why is it important to you that people know that?
Because I don't want them to hurt me before they know me.
Tell me more.
Because, this one guy on my YouTube channel was, saying womp womp and, to a sad video. And I was just saying that, you should think before you speak, and that don't say, rude comments before you, know what's happening.
Why would it be different if people knew what happened?
Because they wouldn't just obviously just say, oh, womp womp. And they wouldn't just say, womp womp, that sucks, or something.
Do you think they'd understand more?
Yeah. they would understand that I'm going through a hard time and I'm just posting that to get some support, since I haven't got an email back from the therapy thing.
Yeah. What kind of support do you feel like you need?
Like therapy with my one therapist I really like. That's the only therapist I want, but and like maybe mental health. I don't know if that's the same thing or not.
Similar, yeah.
But yeah, like also help in school too, because I really need it.
What do you need help with in school?
Like that one social skills one I have, and then my dyslexia.
Yeah.
And then I also want people to know that I already get bullied enough in school. That's why I dropped out.
What are you wanting to do next year for school?
Either go to...
Don't say the name of the school,
I'm not
but...
going to the private school here, or the other school I went to a couple years ago, like 3, when we lived in a camp. That school.
What are you doing next week?
I'm going to camp, the one I lived in.
Are you excited to go to camp?
Yeah, because I'm going to see the owners, and I absolutely love them, and they're my favorite people.
Hey!
You're my other favorite people.
Okay.
They're just first. It's actually my blanket, and then Avery, and then the rest.
I'm at the bottom of the list.
Yeah, you are.
Dating a woman that's been molested, touched on, raped, or took advantage of as a kid is not the same as dating any regular woman. First thing, you gotta be very patient and understanding, because just from the time that I've been alive, most people that I've ever met that are women that have been touched, it's 2 things: either they're very sexual or they don't like having sex at all. And most of them, when they get older, they don't really like having sex at all. But if you don't understand that, you'll leave, because you may start it off that way, but then you don't understand why she's that way. But then again, if she breaks down and tell you, it's not for ammunition. It's not for you to take it. Then when you get mad, you say, "I see why it happened," or your uncle did. You just make all of these different reference to what happened to her. Or you go out and find somebody else because you keep asking, hey, when we gonna do it? And even though she probably really want to do it, it's mental. It's almost like tying in with mental health that I would guess. Like they body may want to, but their mind is like, I don't feel like it. So that was just some advice to the guys. I don't know. I'm just going by some of the teachings. That's all.
One of my classmates invited me to this party.
And so when you got inside the party, were there other girls there?
No. They had like drinks already made. And they was like, go ahead and take a shot. I'm sitting here taking shots. It is not tasting right. It's tasting like medicine. I went to the bathroom and I called one of my friends like, hey, there's something wrong with this drink. It don't taste right.
Oh, so you knew something was off.
And she was like, Aisha, get out. At that point, it started kicking in. I had a hard time walking, had a hard time seeing. That's when the boys took over. The door closed. There were 13 guys in this room. And half of them had their pants down. And they told me the only way I'm gonna get out this room if I please them. I just wanted to leave. So I did what I had to do, thinking if I do this, they were gonna let me go. No, it didn't let me go. I tried to run. I ran to the bathroom. And I remember this big old football dude. He busted in that bathroom and he dragged me out like a rag doll. And I remember fighting back and forth with him, trying to get away. And when he finally let go, I hit my head on a brick wall. And to this day, I got a dent in my forehead. And we later find out I have a traumatic brain injury from that incident.
And when he dragged you, the other boys were just standing there?
They were cheering him on.
Only reason why help came was because somebody in that dorm heard me screaming nonstop, and they called the police. They found me naked in a corner, just crying.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
What happened to you when you were just 15 years old?
I'm 71 now. When I was 15, on a Friday, we'd go to a cafe after school and get some chips and whatever. And these two men started coming in and being friendly to us. They seemed very nice. And after a few weeks, they invited us to a party. And I remember I cycled there and I walked in, and it was just an ordinary party. There was music and dancing and whatever. And as I walked in, one of the men handed me a drink. And it can't have been very long, because I was still standing in the same spot when just the room started spinning and my legs went to jelly. And the two of these men put their heads under my arms and walked me to this bedroom. And they brought me over to a bed, and they took down my jeans and my jocks, and they raped me. And I knew that on the other side of the wall were all my mates. It was very, very painful. So eventually, at some point, I went unconscious. And when I woke up, I was in the room on my own, and dawn was coming up. I escaped out of a bedroom window, and I got on my bike, and I remember that I cycled home standing up because I couldn't sit on the saddle. Now, the weird thing was, and I don't fully understand this now, but I never did anything about it. I never spoke to a living soul about it. Somehow or other, my 15-year-old child self didn't know how to deal with this at all. And I spoke to nobody.
We hear so much about men, and they suppress things, they bottle things up. This happened. You put that to the back of your brain. But you did a huge amount of volunteer work, and it took that and an encounter with a woman. It's for you to open up and to look for help. Tell us what happened.
I got involved in fundraising for Rape Crisis Midwest for a while, for a number of years. And one day I was doing a bucket collection in Ennis, where I live, in Clare. And this woman came up to me, and she started putting notes into the thing when most people were throwing in the odd coin. She was putting notes in, and she said, "Thank you so much, it happened to me." And she walked away, and as she walked away, I just burst into tears. And I just said to myself, "Oh my God, it happened to me." And it wasn't that I didn't know, but I wasn't ready to go there, you know. And it still took me a while. I was advised to ring the helpline. I rang the helpline. And it was one of the best things I ever did in my life.
Really?
You know? Life-changing.
When I was only 14 years old, my own mother took me to this man's house to create child sexual abuse material of me, who is seen here pictured with Ron Jeremy, and the owner, I believe, who is now passed away, of the Moonlit Bunny Ranch, which is seen here on Ron Jeremy's shirt. If you do not know who I'm talking about, or you are familiar with these names, these are big names in the adult pornography scene. From my understanding, my mother had already known this man since she was 19 years old, and then she had introduced him to me when I was around 14 years old. He lived in the Portland, Oregon area, and now he is in the Happy Valley, Oregon area, I believe, living with his parents and broke because he has lost everything. During one of the encounters where it was just me and Paul Smith by ourselves, my mother was not present. We were driving around downtown Portland. We stopped at a pizza place where you could get pizza by the slice. And then he ended up having to stop to talk to somebody or grab paperwork or something at the club that he owned, which was the now shut down Swingers Club, Club Sesso in Portland, Oregon. This was a club that my mom and my stepdad would frequent. They would often get us babysitters and go to these swinger parties, and they were very into the swinger lifestyle. I have not yet reported my mother for trafficking me to this man, and I have not pressed charges against this man for creating the child sexual abuse material against me on numerous occasions. I do plan to very soon. With an active case open against my stepfather, it has been very hard for me to put energy elsewhere on top of all the other life things that I am dealing with that I'm not actively talking about on my platform. But deep down, I know that if I let this pass the statute of limitations and I do not go forward and at least try to seek justice for what happened to me, and at least maybe even try and get some closure and understanding of where the heck these photos went, it's very alarming when child sexual abuse material is created at all. I think that it's especially alarming when there are such rich, powerful people around the man who created this child sexual abuse material. It seems very likely that this was a much deeper and bigger thing than just this man alone. That Ron Jeremy is guilty of sexual assault and terrible things against many women, and he's basically getting a slap on the wrist because his brain is not, he has dementia or something like that. And then this man, I'm not going to accuse him of anything. I don't know his background. There's been people who have alleged that he's not a good man himself, but he is also no longer with us. I'm honestly probably pretty glad about both of those things. And due to this man's own behavior, such as allowing illegal swinger parties to take place at the club and continue to get in criminal and civil battles throughout court, that is what ended up making him broke, and he ultimately lost everything. Without a doubt, even broke people can definitely go on to hurt people or exploit people, look up inappropriate things online. At the end of the day, we're not even 100% sure if this man just did it for money. As we know, he tried to kiss me. So what else is this man really up to this day? We don't know. I think that it's important that I probably seek justice just in order to make sure that anyone who feels like they can't come forward might be able to, with my voice being heard, as well as any potential victims that he still has. And shame on all the women, the mothers, any of the partners of these type of men who just stand by and sometimes even recruit victims for these men. Shame on you.
All right, y'all. I feel like I should be saving these story times, but I'm gonna do this one. This won't be my last one for the day because I got a lot more shit to say. And trigger warning, okay? This is a fucking trigger warning. It might not seem like it because I'm, trigger warning. Story time on how my grandma essayed me at the age of 9. Yes, I said my grandma. My mom's mom. And she was my best friend, y'all. My best friend. I love this lady down. Taught me how to sing, teach me how to play the piano. We used to color together, taught me how to do all type of shit. Cause my mom was on drugs when I was a kid. So I was always at my granny house. But let's get into the story. It's not a very long story, but we're gonna get into it real quick. So when I was 9, I used to live with my grandma. And sometimes I used to sleep with her in her room, and sometimes I used to sleep in the living room on the couch. But when I used to sleep with her, she used to always be like, mind you, my grandpa lived there too. She used to be like, oh, don't sleep with your legs up like that. I don't know why the fuck she used to say that, but she used to tell me, like, don't sleep with your legs up like that. Stop sleeping with your legs up. Just random. Don't sleep on your back. Don't sleep on your stomach. So this one particular night, I had slept with her, and we used to sleep in her room on the floor. So we sleep or whatever, and I just wake up because I feel something. And I wake up and I'm just I'm sitting there and she's down there. I don't know how to explain it, but she's down there performing oral, okay, on me. Sorry about the tongue lick. I know what the fuck to say. I don't know how to say this shit. I'm trying to keep it clean. But she was, you know, performing that on me. So when I get up, I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck. I don't even know what the fuck I said, if I said anything. I just get up. And she like, I'm sorry, whatever. She go get a knife out the kitchen and she acting like she about to kill. She acting like she about to off herself. And then she got these pills, but now that I'm older, those were fucking vitamins, bitch. That was not gonna kill you. But she got these pills and she was acting like she was about to take a whole bunch of them. She was like, don't tell nobody. I'm sorry. And I never told nobody. And I just felt like my mom should have knew because, okay, I was just saying, I feel like my mom should have knew because, like, I feel like me as a mother, if my child is always happy to go with this person and always ready to go be around this person and would be with this person all the time, to not want to go over there tripping the fuck out, to go over there crying, saying that you don't want to go over there, like, I would have knew something was wrong. But my mom was not in her right mind, so, like, you know. And FYI, me and my mom have a great, crazy ass relationship now. So, yeah, but anywho, I didn't tell nobody until I turned 14. And when I turned 14, I think, no, I wasn't that old. I was like 12 or something like that, maybe. And I don't remember. I was between 12 and 14 when she had passed away. And I had told my auntie, like one of my closest aunties, like what she did to me, and she didn't believe me. And then she was like, no, she wouldn't do that. No, she's not here to defend herself. So, like, you know, and that just crushed me because it's just like, I held this in for all this time. And now I chose you to be the person that I was going to tell this to. And you just shut me out and didn't give a fuck. You just told me it didn't happen. All I gotta say, y'all, be careful who you leave your kids with because it be the closest people to you. It be the closest people to you that do stuff to your kids. Okay? Be careful. That's all I'm saying is be careful and just watch out and ask your kids questions and teach them that good touch, bad touch shit because kids need to know. And you need to make it a safe space for your child to feel safe to tell you something as soon as it happens. Y'all, thank y'all for listening to my stories. I think I'm done for today. Y'all have a blessed day. Yeah, I'll make some more story times later.
Look at these lovely pictures of father and daughter. Look at all of them. Look at his hands. Don't worry, it's just normal pictures. Watch them. It's normal. It's okay. Here. Here. Wait. Many more to come. In the bed. Okay? Okay. Look at her face. Interesting. I found something else. Let me show you this. Yes. What's this?
But yeah.
And what floor are we on?
We are on the 68th floor.
She changed the topic.
It's not a bad view to wake up to.
He was a grown man and you were 15. Vanessa, you didn't ask for that. You were just trying to go to school.
Cops
say it was a kid who murdered 10-year-old Lily Peters. Now, all eyes are on Lily's aunt's house in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, where the fourth grader was last seen leaving on her bike. Today, crime scene tape is wrapped around the home after cops removed bags of evidence. Police made the chilling announcement that Lily knew her killer. According to a published report, he's her cousin. The suspect is an 8th grader. He's 14 years old.
The suspect was not a stranger. The suspect was known to the victim.
Today, the close-knit town is reeling after learning that one of their own, a juvenile at that, is accused of taking Lily's life. At a court hearing today, the prosecutor revealed shocking and disturbing details about the crime. Lily and her accused killer left Lily's aunt's house together. Lily was strangled. She was beaten with a stick. She was sexually assaulted.
This is a serious charge, and because of serious charges, there are serious consequences.
The judge set bail at $1 million.
What's going on? Why is Mom yelling?
Don't fucking worry about it. Just go back to your rooms and get ready for school.
Fucking cheating asshole mother. Mom, why are you breaking everything? What happened? I'll tell you what happened. Your dad's out there cheating on me with that whore named Jackie. Jackie, like his friend's wife? Yeah, now leave me alone. Go get ready for school. All three of you better make sure you're ready because your dad and Jackie will be here to pick you up to go Christmas shopping very soon. I'm ready. Yeah, me too. Where's your girlfriend? Waiting in the car. You guys ready? Let's go. This is Jackie, guys. She's gonna come Christmas shopping with us, okay? Thanks for letting me come along, guys. So what are you guys wanting to do? What are we thinking for Christmas presents? I know he has money because he just bought his girlfriend a phone, so... I want a new phone. All right, we can do that. Let's go to the store and get it. So how was it? What did you guys do? I had so much fun. I really like Jackie. She's so nice. And Dad got me a brand new phone. And then we went out to eat afterwards. He only bought you that phone because he bought his girlfriend a phone. And what did your brothers get? Not phones. I'm really glad you're back home, Dad. Me too, baby girl. I missed you a lot. It was so hard when you were gone because Mom just had me nonstop stalking you and your girlfriend on my Facebook because I guess you guys had her blocked or something. If you and Mom split up again, I'd much rather live with you. You're my best friend.
Did you know that predators online find the sound of babies and toddlers eating fruit arousing? Yeah, it's sick, but it's the truth. Here's a clip from a documentary in which they are exploring a predator rehabilitation facility, and they discuss the content they show to these predators to see if they are stimulated or not and where they are in the process of recovery.
Nude. So they're clad in bathing suits, and it's sexually suggestive, such as playing in a pool, playing with water, a hose, eating fruit, things like that.
So next time you see one of these viral videos of a toddler eating fruit, please remember that clip and remember who is contributing to all of these likes and all of these saves.
My father raped me and got me pregnant at 10 years old.
And you had the baby?
I lost the baby.
You had a miscarriage?
Yes.
I'm so sorry. Did he go to jail for that?
No. It's okay. It's okay.
I'm so sorry.
Let's read it. I can't forgive my mother. I grew up in a very religious household, and growing up, I didn't know how to cope with it as a little girl. I was assaulted, and it took me a while to understand what had happened to me. When I had finally understood what happened, I told my mom about it, and she claimed that I was lying. I cried for days over this, and she has acted as if it's never happened, and I feel like I'm the bad person for not forgiving her. Am I in the wrong? She wasn't there to see what happened, but the least she could have done, since she couldn't confirm what was going on, the least she could have done for you was at least validate your feelings and make you feel like she's going to protect you from here on out and that she's going to make sure that nothing else happens to you and, just basically make you feel safe with her. So I'm very sorry that she made you feel that you are lying, because that's bull. And it might take you a hot minute to ever consider forgiving her, because it's just not right. You should feel safe with your mom. Like that should be the safest place on earth for you. And I'm very sorry.
Love for others, love for life, and a passion to make the world a better place. You truly sparkle when you get heated about something. This speaks to your heart.
Now that I got home from therapy, I can finally make a video about this. This speech that I posted in my video this morning, I only have a small cut down version of it, and my wife has the full extended version of her entire speech that I will be listening to tonight. But just that small part where she says, your love for others, your love for life, and the passion to make the world a truly, like, a better place, and you truly sparkle when you get heated. I literally have to write it down because I don't even care to, like, remember what she says. But that is so comical because, yeah, I do have a really strong passion for making the world a better place. A place where predators don't get away with sexually abusing their own kids and then face no consequences. And this is really funny because at this point, when this speech was done, I was already posting on TikTok. I was posting a lot on TikTok about other family members and about my stepdad. But because I wasn't posting about her and the horrible things that she had done, she's just so proud of me. I just sparkle when I get heated. But I wonder if I'm still sparkling now that I'm heated over being sex trafficked. Or heated about the fact that these people are still hiding from their consequences of committing child sexual abuse against me. That is so cute that they're only ever proud of you when you aren't using those same things to hold them accountable. Only when you're holding other people accountable, right? Nice.
Let me tell you something. If there's something I've learned of late, like in the past 1 month or two, is that you should never teach your children to blindly obey you. Never teach your children to do blind obedience, because you're setting them up for abuse. You're setting them up for trouble, or maybe even death, because they'll trust someone blind because they believe they're not supposed to say no to an adult. And that's how they'll be kidnapped. That's how they'll be essayed. That's how they'll be abused. That's how they'll be taken advantage of. That's how they'll be unalived. Let me tell you, be very careful as parents. Even you as a parent, your child is not entitled to say yes to you all the time. Let them have an opinion of their own. You know, growing up, I realized I did not have an opinion of even what I wanted to wear. It was that crazy. Like at 6 years old, 5 years old, a child should be able to like pick out clothes. I'm not saying every day, but once in a while, give them that sense of independence to like even take a shower by themselves. You already know you took a shower in the morning, you really scrubbed on them really well, but when you're coming back to them, let them take a shower on themselves. Let them feel some sense of independence. Let them pick out their outfits sometimes. Let them pick out the shoes they want to wear something. Let them pick out the snacks let them pick out the meal you're going to prepare for a day or two. You know, have your children have this sense of opinion, like they have a voice. Because when you deny children that voice, when you teach children to blindly obey, you're grooming them up for abuse. And the things I've seen in this video have really shocked me. But there's a story I want to share with you, a personal story, a real story that really shocked me. Let me tell you something. There are people who I've come to realize myself, like I forgive myself for ever trusting them with my child, because let me tell you, this has to be talked about. This has to be talked about. So, like I said, I used to date this man who we dated for 5 years, and he became my baby daddy. But I continued, I wouldn't say even his co-parenting, because these people never contributed anything, because I did everything and still I give them access to see the child. But let me tell you, this family dynamic is very crazy. There's something I found out the other day that relates to some of the most diabolical stories I've had in this video. So basically, this woman, my ex-mother-in-law, she's married to her husband's brother. Stepbrother. Can you imagine? That's not where it gets crazy. Let me tell you where it gets crazy. The fact is, this man has been abusing her daughter. Now my child's aunt. This man has been abusing her daughter, my child's aunt now. That's how this story relates to me, you know. So let me tell you, someone will ask me, why are you still concerned? No, I'm not concerned. I don't even care, let me tell you. But this story relates to this topic and I have to share it. Be very careful. Let me tell you, the other day I heard that this man even got my child's aunt pregnant. Mind you, my child's aunt is barely 20 or even 21. He got her pregnant, and that woman took her to an abortion clinic and they got rid of the pregnancy. And you know what's crazy? My child's aunt came to my house last year, December, and I hosted her for like 2 weeks. And I realized like her stomach looked a little bit big, but I thought, maybe it's weight gain, you know. I didn't think much of it because she's a child, like a 19-year-old is a child. Let me just say the truth. And I don't know how with boys like that much. But the other day I heard that man got her pregnant. That was the reason they sent her off to come stay with, like they begged me to stay with her for 2 weeks. And I did. And come to find out, that girl was pregnant. That's why her brothers like beat on that man. They beat on that man, sending him to hospital for 1 week. Let me tell you something. Be very careful with your children, even around that man of yours. Really study the person who you are staying with. Really know them from a deeper level, because most of these men are predators. Most of these men date single mothers to abuse their children. Not most, but some of them, or even most, I don't know. But some of them do that to abuse your own children. Can you imagine? You're looking for love, but someone is dating you or is attracted to you because of your children. But in this story that I've talked about, that is not the sense. The mother has been aware all along that this man is touching on her baby girl, but she has never done anything to protect that child. And I asked myself some questions. I asked myself, let me tell you, if she's doing nothing to protect her own child or her own children against a predator she's married to, will she do anything to protect my child against that man? Of course not. In fact, she will love to destroy my child for me to deal with that trauma later on, for me to deal with the blame. That's what she will want to do. Some of these paternal grandmothers and paternal grandfathers that you are trusting with your children, let me tell you, be very careful about them. Be very, very careful about those people. Those people will endanger your children intentionally so that you can deal with the backload of healing the trauma of your children. Most of these people don't like you. They don't like you making moves. They can't reach you. They can't harm you. So they'll use your child to harm you. They know you care about your child. They'll use your child. They'll make sure your child has been abused. They'll make sure they destroy your child's innocence. That's why I stopped doing something called co-parenting. I don't even like to call comparing because it was never like a course. It was never like half-half. It was me doing 100% of everything. In fact, sending transport for them to come for their child. Can you imagine? But I needed that time off, you know? So, hey, let me tell you, ladies. It's only God who has protected some of us and some of our children from harm. And when I was taking my son there, I didn't know about all this. Like I didn't know about, he got her pregnant. I didn't know about all that. So ladies, please protect your children. As you've heard from this video, some of these ladies are saying their own moms and their own. When it's a mom, is very diabolical. You know, as a mom, everyone trusts the child with their mother, and it's diabolical that as a mom, you will make your daughter or your son feel some type of way when it comes to their sexual needs. You know, like it's so crazy when someone thinks about some of these things. They remember, like my mom once pried my legs open. Like it's so crazy for them. For anyone to imagine that. I don't know about you, but it's even crazier to imagine that your grandmother will touch on you or like it's just so diabolical. And I don't know, most of these people who abuse children are normally in their family. They're not far. They're normally those people that you live with. Don't trust anyone with your kids. Like me personally right now, I trust nobody. I only trust myself. Let me just say the truth, because this world is cooked. The world is really cooked. Keep a hawk eye on other kids too. Don't even trust other children with your child or your children, because other kids, you don't know what trauma they've been exposed to. You don't know how they've been raised. You don't know what they'll introduce your child to. You don't know what they'll try to do with your child. So be very careful about this. And the fact that predators find the sound of babies eating fruit is diabolical, because what? In a million years, I will never have imagined that predators find, like, they are aroused to the sound of a baby eating fruit. Like, what the fuck? Like, the world is getting cooked and cooked and cooked. It's so crazy. Some of these things are really traumatizing to think about, you know. But anyway, hey, ladies or even gentlemen who are watching, I hope you learned something from this video. Hope you can take away something from this video that will help you protect your children or even protect yourself if you're young from some of these predators. Anyway, have a nice day and I'll see you on my next video. Bye.